Right, okay, we're going to have a bit of a go with the method feeder today. We've been playing about with this a little bit over the last few trips. Got a little lake here, there's not a lot in it. It's just really for this water for Tracy to be able to learn to do a bit of fishing on. So we ain't going to get no bigger here. Single figures type fish, really. Biggest as we know is probably up to £7 tench really. Probably tench is probably the best in here. Okay, so what I've done, I've mixed up a bit of ground bait in here. We've got the spicy sausage base mix in here. I've put a bit of the betaine green. I've got a third spicy sausage, about a third of betaine green ground bait, and then I've added some egg biscuit meal, which is a bit like nectar blend. The guy near us does something similar. Looks very similar to nectar blend. So I've got a third, a third, a third. I've chucked in then some of our micro spicy sausage in. I'll put a few more in. Little tiny ones. They're about 12 by 5mm. And put a few of them in. Oh, I put some hemp in as well. And then I've done some in the same spicy sausage in the snail shape. So I'll put a few of those in. So over the top of those, we're fishing. These are wafters, low buoyancy wafter, mainly linked to the match angling really. Critically balanced, and I'm going to put them over the top. Now what we're going to do is fish your method feeder. Now what I've done on here, I've made these up myself, and we've got 2 bait spikes on here rather than 1. So what we decided to do was fish an orange on one, probably have to put my glasses on. Can't see absolutely nothing. We've got 1 on 1, and then we're doing, we just went for whites with the other. So we've got quite a spread of colours in there. I think it might be easier if I put my glasses on. Get to nearly 63, you can't see nothing at all. That's better, I can see what I'm doing. So push that. I'm pushing these right up the centre. So if I bring that a bit closer, I don't know if Tracy can get onto that. So can you see the hook there? Look, and what I've done, I've made like a little D-rig on the back. So you've got the 2 swivels, and the whole idea, it sits on the bottom, sits out the bottom. And I have tested this. These 2 will literally lift up and they waft over the top. My thinking is they're under the top. 2 maggots normally work quite well, and they move over the top when the water's shaking. They're literally wafting a little off the end. So that's the principle. So that will go over the top with the method feeder. We'll mix some ground bait, and that'll be in the top like that, yeah. So if I make up a little bit of ground bait now with this bit of water in here, now what I've added into this as well, I've added some liquid liver into the ground bait, which we put in the spicy sausage base mix. I just poured some in, and like I often say, you need a round bucket so that it's easier to get into the corners. As you can see, I've got a round bucket here. It makes the thing a lot easier. So if I shuffle across on my knees, there's quite a selection of stuff in here. I never know when I've got this right or not, to be actually honest. Someone will tell me I've got it wrong. I have bought a mould which I'll play about later on. But all I've been doing is literally getting some, sticking it on the top, getting the wafter. With a mould you can drop it in the bottom and stick this on the top, but I'll have a play about with the mould in a bit because I've not even got it out of the packet. So like that really. That's all I've been doing. You get a towel. So we stick that over there. Tighten that up a little bit more. And this is the point where I put in the tree. The water's very good. That's it really, so we'll give that a whirl. I've lifted the rod tip up, probably doing it wrong, but I'm going to try and fish the right hand rod on the ledger. So my thought is to get as much water, line out the water. We're pretty sheltered here, so if we're playing it and we haven't got line in the edge, so we'll see how that one goes. I'm going to do exactly the same with this one here, right down the margin on the right, so we'll have to see how that goes. So I'm back to you in a bit. Right, I'm going to do this next rod. With this one we'll show you in a bowl. I put a bowl here and we'll show you what my principle is without I'm trying to get this rig to work. A couple of areas that have caused a problem, obviously like I touch on, is my eyesight's getting worse. I'm a carp angler and looking at size really 14, 16 and 18 my looks, I can't even hardly see them. Tiny fine lines. So I can't be the only one that suffers like this. But anyway, so what I've done here, this is the rig that I've done. I've put some rig tubing on the back of the hook and I've gone back into a D and on the ends, I don't think you can see there, we've got the two baits are pushed up. So basically got the two bait spikes that you saw me on the other one. I've gone up the middle, so that the whole idea is they move independently and can go up and down on the line. And with it being a wafter mix, my point is it should just drop on the bottom like that. You can see me thinking, rather than one, we've got two, and then I'm hoping that they'll just waft around. So if I just drop this in this bowl, I have tried it at home. Obviously it'll sit on top of the feeder, but for the purposes of this video, I don't know whether Tracy can see from that point there. Need to get quite as close as we can in the bottom of the bowl, but the hook's holding it on the bottom and the bait's wafting around. And I know we've got a little bit of movement because obviously I've just dropped it in. But what I'm thinking, as a fish comes into the swim anywhere, obviously that wants to be on top of the bomb, the method feeder, when it comes on. I've gone a really short, sort of probably no more than 3 inch, 3 inch probably, and so that'll be on the top of that as that's dissolving, or round the bomb. But as they come in, it's moving. So my thoughts are, that bit of movement, I'm trying to get it to look like it would do if it was probably maggots or something. Bit of movement really. So that's the principle. We have found it does seem to be working, the whole idea, like this. Small little roach. There we go. So principle works. That's a tiny little one we just cast earlier on. But I'll put that one back. I'll put the other one back. On the grass. On the grass would be better. Let's pick it up. So you can see there, one's fell off, but the other one's still on. So you can see the bait spike that we've just been talking about there, and it's up the middle and moving. So we'll get it now. There we go. Come on, mate. Try a little roach. So all we've got to do now is obviously just put another one on the bait spike and we'll cast that one back. Cheers. Right, so this is a mould I bought yesterday. I've not used one before, and the whole idea then with this then is we're going to put it in there, and then we'll put a bit of the ground bait that we've got here, put that on the top. Don't know how much we need. I suppose it'll just squeeze out. Put that over the top, I think is how this thing works. You push it down. It's as much a learning curve for me as everybody else. And I think, yeah, well, that looks quite neat. So there we go, you see, so there's the ring on the top. Now that's what we was casting out earlier on, but obviously it does look a lot neater, doesn't it? So I can see why people use them, and you're going to have it more uniform. The weight of the whole thing is going to be the same each time. So if you're going to get into a critical spot where you want to get it to, it's always going to be the same. But that's what we just had that little roach on. that we cast out, so we'll cast it out again and see what else we can come up with. Okay, right, same rod again that we cast out after we had that little roach. It's cast it all out, it's gone off again. Nice looking tench, which is really what we knew it best we're going to be really doing in here. Really, a roach. I mean, the tent. I've heard the rumour they go up to £7. But obviously, you know, what they say is a rumour. You disgorge it on the second, it's come down a little bit. But looks about probably £3.5 to £4 probably. I don't know. But again, same colour bait. Well, it's the rod that, yeah, there you go, you see, it's still got the bait on. So, how's that? So if we pour him in the waste, put that out of the waste as well. Just zeroed. Sorry, just with the zero of this. Wet it. That was good. Wet it. Yeah, like I said, I'd say about 3.5, probably something like that. Well, probably just under 3 actually. And he's about probably 2.5 £2.5. Probably just a bit over 2.5. Nice little tench though. So we're going to pour him back. I've just got to watch my rod so I don't stand on my rod. Okay. Yeah, so we'll recast it and see how it goes from there. Well, we just recast this rod. Within a couple of minutes it ripped off, and I don't know whether on the video earlier on I was saying I thought I saw a double figure carp. I don't know if it's a double, but I've got a carp anyway. Let's bring him out. I've had him on the micro grubs. Just make sure I don't knock Tracy out with the landing net. But last trip we came, I saw a common carp come right out the water further down the bank. We've only come fishing for tench, stinking thing, and here we are. Yeah, the little bait I showed you earlier on, the double one, it seems to have worked. Method feeder. It was orange and white mini grub on the double bit, and here we are. It's been really quiet. I had a bit of bite all bloody morning, and then recast it again, and this is just ripped off. So we're going to got an airport right next to us, little airport, everything flying all up. So that's a beautiful. I honestly think this is probably the biggest fish in this pool. Because everyone's telling me there's no carp in here. Well, there definitely is, because there's one here. I've got the waist sling. Just turn the waist sling over, baby. I've got it the wrong way around. Just turn him over. Got the zips the wrong way around. Just zeroed this. So that should go near £10, I reckon. Looking at it, but it's that long since I've been fishing. I forgot what weight fish looks like. So I've just zeroed this one and wet it. Oh yeah. So we've got what? That's probably, I can't see through the phone, but I reckon that's, I reckon 10, 12, I reckon. £10, 12, somewhere around there. So I just got a cast. It's been so slow. We just decided to recast, and I cast a bit closer to the overhanging trees, and here we are. So we were, you say, £10, 12 common, biggest one in the pool. On the spicy sausage, legend, but we've caught it on the fruit special little micro grubs over the top. As you can see, yeah, we'll just get some nice pictures now, I think. And yeah, well chuffed. What looked like a really crappy morning, and again a bit pissed off. One run and all of a sudden, biggest thing. I wasn't expecting anywhere near like this in here. Although, like I say, I thought I saw something last time that could have even been this fish. Tight lines.